running slow through the light, coffee going cold beside me, past the middle of the night. There's a booth across the aisle where nobody's sitting now, but something in the empty vinyl feels like you somehow. The waitress wipes the counter like she's done 1,000 times. Neon bends across the sidewalk in red and broken lines. I don't come here looking backwards, I don't call it missing you, but the rain has got a way of bringing old things through. Rain on the diner window, soft against the glass, makes the streetlights blur together like the present and the past. And I don't need a reason, I don't need to know why. Some nights just remember when the rain starts falling right. There's an old song on the speaker, too low to make it clear, just enough to stir the places I don't usually let near. And I can almost hear you laughing at some little thing I'd say. Not enough to break me open, just enough to make me stay outside. Cars move through the weather, headlights dragging through the rain. Everybody going somewhere, everybody carrying names. And I sit here with my coffee, let the window hold the night, let the past come in softly without putting up a fight. Rain on the diner window, soft against the glass, makes the street lights blur together like the present and the past. And I don't need a reason, I don't need to know why. Some nights just remember when the rain starts falling right. Maybe rain don't wash things clean, maybe that ain't what it does. Maybe it just makes the hard lines gentle enough to touch. Maybe memory needs weather, needs a little neon glow, needs a lonely cup of coffee and nowhere else to go. Rain on the diner window, Lord, I feel it now, how a quiet heart can open without making any sound. And I don't call it sorrow, I don't call it alright. Some nights just remember when the rain starts falling right. The rain starts falling right. Rain on the diner window, rain on the diner window. Some nights just remember when the rain starts falling right. Coffee while the streetlights blur out beyond the glass. Rain running through the neon like it's softening the past. The cup is cold between my hands, but I keep holding on, like warmth might still be hiding there after all this time gone. There's a truck outside the window with its headlights turned down low, a waitress stacking clean cups, moving careful, moving slow. And I don't know what brought me here this late and half awake. Maybe some rooms know the part of you that still needs a place. Coffee while the streetlights blur, that's how memory comes. Not clear enough to hold it, not faded enough to run. And I don't need the whole thing back, just a little of what we were. Sitting with this cold old cup of coffee while the streetlights blur. I remember small things mostly, not the end, not the fight. Just your hand around a coffee mug on some ordinary night. The way you'd look out past me at the weather coming down, like you were hearing something in the rain against this town. And I ain't saying I'm still waiting, or that I want the years undone. I'm just saying some old feelings come back quieter than they come. Not enough to pull me under, not enough to make me sure, just enough to sit beside me while the streetlights blur. Coffee while the streetlights blur, that's how memory comes. Not clear enough to hold it, not fade enough to run. And I don't need the whole thing back, just a little of what we were. Sitting with this cold old cup of coffee while the streetlights blur. Maybe time don't make things vanish, maybe it just pulls them wide, till the sharp parts turn to color in the corner of your eyes. Maybe love don't always leave you like a storm or like a door. Sometimes it just turns soft and distant, but it still glows like before. Coffee while the streetlights blur, and Lord, I feel it now, how the old life keeps on shining without asking to be found. And I don't call it sorrow, I don't call it a cure, just a quiet rainy midnight, coffee while the streetlights blur. Coffee while the streetlights blur. Coffee while the streetlights blur. Just a quiet rainy midnight. Coffee while the streetlights blur.
Old songs in the rain, coming low through the room, from a speaker in the corner, with a tired little tune. The waitress hums a line like she's known it all her life, and the window keeps on shining with the streetlights running wide. It's nothing I came looking for, just some records spinning slow. But the first few notes found something I thought I'd let go. Not a wound, not a warning, not a reason to complain. Just a younger part of me walking in with the rain. Old songs in the rain sound different after years, like they learned a little sorrow, like they carried a few tears. And I don't need them perfect, I don't need them clean. Old songs in the rain still know where I've been. There's a line about a highway, there's a line about a home. There's a line I used to sing once, before I knew what it meant to be alone. Back then it was just music, just a chorus we could play. Now every word feels older than it did in those days. And I ain't saying songs can save you or make the old life stay, but some nights they sit beside you in a quiet, decent way. Like they're not trying to fix it, not trying to explain, just keeping time with memory and the rhythm of the rain. Old songs in the rain sound different after years, like they learned a little sorrow, like they carried a few tears. And I don't need them perfect, I don't need them clean. Old songs in the rain still know where I've been. Maybe music gets weathered the same way people do. Maybe every scratch and crackle lets the truth come through. Maybe that's why I listen when the night starts closing in. Old songs don't bring it back, but they make room for what's been. Old songs in the rain, and Lord, I hear them now. Now there's something I can hold, but it's something still around. And I don't call it sadness, I don't call it pain, just a little life returning, and old songs in the rain. Old songs in the rain. Old songs in the rain. A little life returning, and old songs in the rain. I stepped out from the diner with the rain still coming down. The neon on the blacktop made a river through the town. My truck sat by the curbside with water on the hood, and for a minute in that streetlight the road looked almost good. Not easy, not forgiving, not a place without regret, just a two-lane running darker than the things I tried to forget. but the rain had blurred the edges of the cracks and painted lines, like the night had laid a hand there and softened them with time. The road looked soft or wet, like it didn't have to hurt, like every mile ahead of me could loosen all this dirt. And I know a road's a road, it takes more than it lets, but standing in that midnight rain, the road looks soft or wet. There were headlights in the distance, breaking slow across the shine. Every passing car looked lonely, but gentle for a time. I thought about the years behind me, how they cut and how they bend, how even hard things look different when the weather settles in. And I ain't saying rain can save you or wash a man brand new. I'm just saying for a moment it changed the shape of what was true. Made the town lights look less broken, made the dark feel less direct, made the way back to the highway look like something I could accept. The road looked soft or wet, like it didn't have to hurt, like every mile ahead of me could loosen all this dirt. And I know a road's a road, it takes more than it lets, but standing in that midnight rain, the road looks soft or wet. Maybe mercy isn't answers, maybe peace ain't what we find, maybe sometimes it's just water on the hard lines of your life. Maybe nothing really changes, maybe nothing's different yet, but your heart can breathe a little when the road looks soft or wet. The road looks soft or wet, and Lord, I need it there tonight. Just a little kinder surface in the old streetlight. And I still had miles to carry, still had things I can't forget, but for one quiet rainy minute, the road looks soft or wet. The road looks soft or wet. The road looks soft or wet. For one quiet rainy minute, the road looks soft or wet. Midnight booze by the glass, the same tear in the sea, same sugar packs in a holder, same rain out on the street. The waitress called it open like it didn't mean a thing, just pointed with a coffee pot and let me slide back in. I sat where I used to sit,
facing out toward the road, where the neon hit the window and made everything look old. Your side had a menu on it and a spoon wrapped in white. Nothing sacred, nothing waiting, just an empty place tonight. Midnight booth by the glass, where the rain comes down slow, where the streetlights bend and shiver like the years we used to know. And I don't need it to remember, I don't need it to ask, but I still sit a little careful in that midnight booth by the glass. We used to come here after nowhere, when the town had gone to sleep. 2 cups and 1 piece of pie that would never let get sweet. You talk about leaving someday, I'd talk like I could too. Back when all our bigger plans fit in a corner booth. Now there's new names carved in the table, new scratches by the wall, new lovers leaning close there, thinking time won't touch them at all. And I don't blame him for believing, I believed the same thing once, that a little raining down a light could hold more than it does. Midnight booth by the glass, where the rain comes down slow, where the streetlights bend and shiver like the years we used to know. And I don't need it to remember, I don't need it to ask, but I still sit a little careful in that midnight booth by the glass. Maybe places don't keep promises, maybe people make them do. Maybe a table's just a table till somebody sits with you. Maybe that's why it feels strange now, how normal it all looks, like the world can keep on turning past the pages of your book. Midnight booth by the glass, and Lord, I felt it plain, how something can be ordinary and still carry someone's name. And I don't call it sorrow, I don't call it coming back, just one more rainy hour in that midnight booth by the glass. Midnight booth by the glass, midnight booth by the glass, one more rainy hour, midnight booth by the glass. Headlights through the weather, coming slow around the bend, white lines disappearing, they're showing up again. Rain running down the windshield like it's trying to erase every mile in front of someone still looking for a place. I watch them from the diner
through the glass and neon glow. One car after another, moving careful, moving slow. Nobody had it easy. You could see it in the way those lights kept pushing forward through the middle of the rain. Headlights through the weather, that's how people make it through. Not seeing all the road ahead, just enough to know what's true. And the night don't have to clear up for a heart to move together. Sometimes all we get are headlights, headlights through the weather. There was a truck with one light missing. There was a sedan packed too tight. There was a young man in a work coat. There was a woman turning right. Everybody going somewhere, everybody half alone, everybody carrying something they don't say when they get home. And I ain't saying I was wiser sitting there inside that place, just a man with cooling coffee and the rain across my face. But I saw a kind of mercy in the way those beams held on. Little tunnels through the darkness, not enough, but not all gone. Headlights through the weather, that's how people make it through. Not seeing all the road ahead, just enough to know what's true. And the night don't have to clear up for a heart to move together. Sometimes all we get are headlights, headlights through the weather. Maybe nobody gets a clear road, maybe everybody drives with the past across the windshield and the future hard to find. Maybe faith is just the distance that the low beams let you see, and the will to keep on moving past what used to be. Headlights through the weather, and Lord, I saw it plain tonight. Every soul out there was trying to keep something in the light. And I don't need the rain to end, I don't need perfect weather, just enough road to keep following. Headlights through the weather, headlights through the weather. Headlights through the weather, headlights through the weather. Just enough road to keep following. Headlights through the weather. The jukebox played low in the corner, half hidden by the pie case light. One old song after another, soft enough to miss if you tried. The rain kept time on the window, coffee cooled in my cup, and the whole room felt like breathing, but not saying too much. There were 3 stools at the counter, one man reading yesterday's news, a waitress counting quarters in her tired white shoes. Nobody asked for music, nobody asked it to stop. It just kept moving quietly, like a clock that hadn't lost. The jukebox played low, like it knew the night was thin, like it didn't want to bother all the hearts still sitting in. And it didn't heal the lonely, it didn't make time slow, but it held the room together when the jukebox played low. I heard a little steel guitar underneath the rain, a voice worn down by living, but still trying just the same. It wasn't some great message, wasn't heaven coming through, just a song that understood enough to leave some space for truth. And I ain't saying music saves you or turns the dark around, but there are nights a quiet song can keep a man from sinking down. Not by telling him the answer, not by shining like a sign, just by sitting there beside him for a little bit of time. The jukebox played low, like it knew the night was thin, like it didn't want to bother all the hearts still sitting in. And it didn't heal the lonely, it didn't make time slow, but it held the room together when the jukebox played low. Maybe comfort comes that simple, maybe mercy sounds that small, a melody beneath the rain and light against the wall. Maybe all a tired heart needs when the world feels hard to hold is one old song still playing, not too loud and not too bold. The jukebox played low, and Lord, I felt it then, how a room can feel less empty when a song walks gently in. And I don't need a miracle, I don't need the years to show, just one more quiet kindness when the jukebox played low. The jukebox played low. Jukebox played low. One more quiet kindness when the jukebox played low.
I left the diner light behind me, watch it fade into the rain, turn the wipers on low and let the old truck find its lane. The street was shining black and silver, the signs were hard to read, but I knew the turns by memory better than I knew me. There was coffee in my jacket and the jukebox in my head, one more song still hanging on to everything unsaid. The road ran past the closed up station, past the church and county line, and every mile looked softer in that broken midnight
shine. Rainy roads back home, running quiet through the dark, past the places that still know me, past the old light in my heart. And I don't know what I'm looking for, or what I'll find when I'm alone, but I keep following the headlights down rainy roads back home. There's a bend beside the pasture where the water always stands. There's a mailbox leaning sideways like it's tired of holding land. I've driven there in better weather, I've driven there in worse, but tonight the rain made everything feel less like a curse. And I ain't saying home is easy, or that it waits the way it did. Sometimes it's just a porch light and a silence you walk in. Sometimes it's just a table where you lay your keys down slow. Sometimes home is only something that the roads still seem to know. Rainy roads back home, running quiet through the dark, past the places that still know me, past the old light in my heart. And I don't know what I'm looking for, or what I'll find when I'm alone, but I keep following the headlights down rainy roads back home. Maybe every road remembers more than any man can say. Maybe water on the blacktop helps the hard lines fade away. Maybe going home at midnight ain't the same as being found, but it's enough to keep on moving when the rain keeps coming down. Rainy roads back home, and Lord, I'll take them slow. Let the dark stay soft around me, let the old feels come and go. And I don't need a perfect ending, I just need one road I know. So I keep following the headlights down rainy roads back home. Rainy roads back home. Rainy roads back home. I keep following the headlights down rainy roads back home. The street was wet and empty, past the diner and the store. Red light running down the sidewalk like it had somewhere to go. There was blue across the windows, there was gold beneath the rain, and every sign still burning looked a little less the same. I drove slow through the middle with the wipers keeping time, past the motel with the vacancies and the liquor store sign. Nothing there was broken, nothing there was new, but the whole town looked like something it had been holding finally moved. When the neon started crying down the glass and through the street, all the colors ran together like old names under my feet. And I know it was only rain falling through the light, but the town looked like it missed you when the neon There were puddles by the curbside where the diner letters fell, like pieces of a memory no one knew how to spell. A truck rolled through the corner, through the red glow wide, and for a second all the pavement looked like it had something inside. And I ain't saying city sorrow or that signs can feel the years. I'm just saying rainy midnight can make strange things appear. Like every light left burning, every window, every lane was carrying its own version of what it couldn't change. When the neon started crying down the glass and through the street, all the colors ran together like old names under my feet. And I know it was only rain falling through the light, but the town looked like it missed you when the neon cried that night. Maybe rain gives light a body, maybe grief gives color weight, maybe what we never say out loud still finds another way. Maybe every empty street has 1 hour it can show all the lives that passed through quietly and where they had to go. When the neon started crying, and Lord, I saw it clear, how a place can look familiar and still feel full of years. And I didn't need an answer, didn't need the past made right. I just drove through all that color when the neon cried that night. When the neon started crying, when the neon started crying, I just drove through all that color when the neon cried that night. Some nights sound like rain before a drop comes down, like the whole world's holding something you don't know how to say out loud. The road gets quiet early, the lights turn soft and low, and every old remembered thing find somewhere else to go. I used to think the weather was just weather passing through, just water on the window, just clouds above the roof. But now I know some evenings have a way of settling in, till every little sound outside feels like somewhere I have been. Some nights sound like rain, soft against the glass, not washing out the memory, just loosening the past. And I don't need it gone, I don't need it explained, some nights get a little kinder when they sound like rain. This coffee I remember, there are headlights I still see. There's a booth beside a window where a younger man was me. There's a song low in a jukebox, there's a road shining black. There are names I don't go looking for that still find their way back. And I ain't saying I'm healed now, not in some clean, easy way. I'm just saying what once cut short don't always stay that way. Sometimes time and weather work slowly on the pain, till what you thought would break you starts sounding more like rain. Some nights sound like rain, soft against the glass, not washing out the memory, just loosening the past. And I don't need it gone, I don't need it explained. Some nights get a little kinder. Maybe rain don't take things from us, maybe it just lets them breathe and turns the hard lines into water, makes the old light easier to see. Maybe every heart needs weather to learn what it can keep. A little sound outside the window to help the past fall asleep. Some nights sound like rain, and Lord, I hear it now, in the quiet after midnight, when the old town settles down. And I don't call it sorrow, I don't call it pain, just the sound of memory softening. Some nights sound like rain, some nights sound like rain, some nights sound like rain. The sound of memory softening. Some nights sound like rain.